Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining the group this week. I appreciate your insightful feedback as always. Let me share my screen and I'll walk you through the work that I've done since our last meeting.
This is Larry. He is a PhD student in Florida, and it's 7:45 in the morning. He's meeting online with his peers. Andriana is a PhD student in the Netherlands, where it's 1:45 p.m. Emilia is a PhD student in Australia, and it's 10:45 p.m. Max is a PhD student in Germany, and it's 2:45 p.m. This group meets regularly bi-weekly to discuss modeling issues, present advancements, and share motivation to finish their PhDs and to increase their quality of work.
Let me share my screen and I'll walk you through the work that I've done since our last meeting, and you can give me feedback as necessary. Uh, Based on our last meeting, you know that I'm working with the supply-demand gap in electricity production, which is a function of one loop is price and demand. One is the actual electricity production. To create new electricity production, there's a profitability assessment. There's an investment decision. The new power plant goes into construction. It's added to the capacity. And so this loop and this loop uh, work together they're the dynamics of electricity capacity expansion.
Online peer mentoring meetings are scheduled for an hour. The presenter has a maximum of 30 minutes to present, and the rest goes to feedback. Since all of the peers in this group are from a different field of application, it is important to introduce them to the topic.
Where I'm at in my PhD is I'm working on some missing feedback loops that I think are in electricity capacity expansion. And so this is, I know it looks a little crazy, but it's the same basic loop that I just explained with the supply-demand gap, the electricity price and electricity demand, the technology cost.
Larry presents his advancements and addresses two questions to the group.
So the question that I have is, how are you going to quantify and make a stock out of something like social activism due to climate change concerns? Or how are you going to quantify something like political lobbying? How are you going to make that into a stock? And any feedback that you have from three different continents would be really appreciated.
After presenting, the discussion starts. In this case, Larry leads the discussion actively, and every peer asks some questions, is giving suggestions, and Larry keeps notes. The discussion is two-sided, so that the presenter sometimes clarifies, sometimes asks some questions back, and with this gets some new ideas. Here are some example questions in the talk of Larry. We cut out the discussion for time reasons.
Very, very good progress since the last time we had this meeting. Well, first, before we start the discussion, have you already given some thought into how to quantify so that we don't actually give you the same suggestions?
Are you sure you want to have it as a stock? Because you keep saying stocks, but can't it be an auxiliary variable in your case?
I think that maybe the word activism could be changed so that you change your perspective as well. What is social awareness because of climate change? Maybe it's just like I'm thinking about ways to anchor your simulation outcomes into real world. So that is the quantification you're looking for, and maybe there are some surveys how climate change is perceived in certain groups or. At the end, Larry summarizes his takeaways and closes the meeting.
Fantastic. That's really great feedback, you guys. I really appreciate it. All right. Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate it. I know it's difficult coming together across three different continent time zones, but as always, I appreciate your feedbacks and comments, and I'll see you again in 2 weeks.
Bye
See ya.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.